What's up? A to Z Sports here live on a Thursday night. It is the NFL draft officially is getting going. The 2025 NFL draft. The Titans have been holding on to this number one overall pick for many, many months now after being the worst team in the NFL last football season. And we are here to finally see Cam Ward, quarterback out of Miami, be the number one overall draft pick here in just several minutes away. So live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Going to have a great show this evening as we will be on as live as we feel like we need to be tonight because I have done many live draft shows, but I've never done one where the team of interest is picking first overall. And so this is new for all of us, but going to have a great ride. Austin Stanley alongside Sam Phelan and Easton Freeze, our two Titans reporters for A2ZSports.com. I will let Easton do the share the show spiel here because Sam is frustrated at his cable package.
Some of us aren't good. Some of us are here to watch Cam Ward be selected first overall. Some of us are not here to watch Cam Ward be selected first overall because I'm not going to get to see it thanks to ESPN. Preemptive shade on ESPN. Problem, I'm just going to sit here and listen to the NFL draft through your mouth, apparently, Austin, because God forbid I enjoy the draft. ESPN has been screwing with me for the last 45 minutes.
Buddy, download the NFL app on your phone and you can listen to it for free. It's okay. It's fine.
I don't want to listen to it. I want to watch it.
You can watch it on your phone.
I don't want to watch it on my phone. I want to watch it on my TV.
Do you have NFL Network?
Yeah, I've got everything. I've got a cable package, but apparently I don't. At 6:45, as the Titans are going on the clock, now we're going to pretend like I don't pay for this stuff anymore.
Sam's having a bad night. Which, hey, we're going to have a great night, and we're going to use Sam's frustration to our comedic relief here. So, Easton, tell the people what they got to do here live on our draft show before we dive into some pre-Cam Ward conversation here. So, Easton, tell the people what they got to do.
Yeah, the only thing on my mind besides asking folks to share the show is the fact that the commissioner is now riding a bicycle across the stage in Green Bay. So, we're off to a weird and wonderful start.
It's perfect.
It is.
Do you know why?
No, I have no idea. I mean, besides...
Tell the people what they got to do, and I'll tell you why.
I was about to say, can I please just at least tell people what they need to do?
What Bork needs to do is shut up, because Bork is saying, Sam, turn on ABC or ESPN. Number one, ABC is owned by ESPN. It goes through the same streaming platform. And what do you think I'm trying to do, Bork? I'm trying to turn it on. All right? I've been trying to turn it on. I'm going to try NFL now. Sorry.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead, Easton.
Hey guys, we need you to like the show on Facebook, on YouTube. Hit that like button for us. It's going to be a good time. It's going to be far better programming from us than the first 2 minutes and 55 seconds have been so far going forward. Once Sam can get over whatever is happening in his life right now that is really harshing his vibe, we're going to be off and rolling for the Cam Ward and then probably a lot of chaos show. As Austin said, we'll be live for as long as we decide we need to be live for. But that means that there's a limited window for you to hit like on the show. And that is the biggest thing that we need you to do right now. Hit that like button, hit thumbs up. Easiest way for you to be a friend of the show today. Send the show to a friend. Today's a great show to copy the link to and send to somebody and say, hey, watch the draft through your local stream here in addition to watching it on TV. Greatest way to get the local information that you want and not just the riffraff ESPN talking about how every prospect's parent was a drug addict when they were 5 years old and ruining their lives. ESPN. So like the show. Austin, you may go.
All right, before we check back in with Sam here in a second and get this thing off and going, our A to Z Sports Draft live coverage is presented by two of our great friends, Bart Durham, Andrew Law. Crash can change your life forever. Help is just a click away at bartdurham.com. And also, it's that time of year again, Holiday World and Splash and Safari celebrating 25 years of free unlimited soft drinks in 2025. You can get your tickets at holidayworld.com for this summer and use promo code ATOZ to get a bonus $5 off your tickets. That's holidayworld.com. So, Easton, the reason why they are riding bikes across the stage in Green Bay is because that's where the draft is being held. And the tradition of Packers players riding their bikes from the locker room to the training camp field and then having a young child hang out with them and walk them and ride with them to the field is a great tradition that is very fun. And actually has real relationships attached to Green Bay Packers players and kids in the area. And so that's a good little ode to the Green Bay Packers tradition there for that. But
the NFL app is $14.99 a month, by the way. $14.99 a month.
Well, you can just get reimbursed on your paycheck if you want to go ahead and do that, just to take care of it, and we'll make sure.
I don't understand what's going on. I really don't. It was literally on, and then they were like, "Welcome to the NFL draft," and then it says, "Never mind, you don't have this channel anymore."
Tough for Sam Phelan here. Okay, but Cam Ward is getting set to be the Titans' #1 overall draft pick here in minutes. My guess is based on the last few #1 overall draft picks. 7:19 p.m. is when the pick will go across, and Cam Ward will take his jersey with Commissioner Roger Goodell on the stage.
Hey, but you know what, Austin? Our solemn pledge to our loyal listeners here is that we will not tip the Titans pick. We will wait until you see it on your television.
Can we do? Well, I guess I don't care. Well, I don't care anymore. I was gonna come in here, Austin, and I was actually gonna say that I'm doing the draft different this year because normally I like to announce the picks as they get tipped by the insiders, and then we react to them a little bit live. I was gonna try and not look at chat, not tip anything. Just watch the draft and enjoy watching the draft. And I think it was because I said that I was going to watch the draft and be a nice little pure boy this year that the NFL gods decided to curse me with an inability to watch the draft. Hilarious. I'm going to pull out a laptop and see if we can't get a little like double action here. Double laptop.
Absolutely hilarious. So Roger Goodell's
pick, but the Titans are now officially on the clock. So 10 minutes and counting.
Roger Goodell officially put the Titans on the clock.
How long is the clock going to go before pick is in?
Well, I found this out today that the league actually mandates teams picking in the top 10 use at least 5 of their minutes. Somebody told me.
Really?
Interesting.
Okay. Yeah, because I asked somebody in the Titans, like, how long are you going to go? And they're like, well, we have to use at least 5. So I'm going to guess they use like 9. Probably.
Okay. So now we have limited minutes. Let's do a little pre-Cam Ward, conversation here.
Okay.
So how many quarterbacks will be drafted tonight? Cam Ward being one of them. Easton, I'll let you start as Sam's working on this. How many quarterbacks do you think go in the top 32 picks tonight?
Yeah, in my final mock, which I tweeted out, if anybody cares, you probably don't. I had 3. I had in the 20s, I had Shitter Sanders to the Steelers, and I had Jackson Dart to the Giants in a trade up with the Vikings. I think that I think the line is 2.5. I think probably pretty fairly. I would take the over. I don't feel great about it. I really don't. The thing that makes me lean more than less is just the fact that, like we saw last year demonstrated in a particularly aggressive fashion, teams are starting to catch up on the idea that quarterbacks aren't actually, from a pure value standpoint, overdrafted. They are actually underdrafted, and the surplus value of hitting on a quarterback far exceeds the value of spending a high pick and potentially missing. So I think that that's going to continue to be a trend, and we see 3 go tonight.
All right, Sam, do you think it's 2 or 3 quarterbacks tonight in the first round?
I think it's 4.
Oh, so you think Jalen Milroe's there in Green Bay? You think it's for a reason?
Tyler Shuck.
All right.
He's going in the first round.
Where's he going?
Somebody's going to trade up. Give me New Orleans trading up at the back end of the first round to get Tyler Shuck.
All right.
Yeah, I think that's the name that nobody's talking about that is sort of like slowly gaining momentum among teams. And if you're buying into the Schefter notes before the draft where he says, there are teams that have Tyler Shuck as their top quarterback on the board. The age is certainly a concern. New Orleans or Cleveland for Tyler Shuck. Somebody's going to get back in the late 20s and make him the 4th quarterback off the board.
So who's taking the 3rd? I mean, I'm guessing the
Steelers. I think Pittsburgh. Right? If New Orleans takes Sanders at 9 or the Giants take Sanders at 3, either one of those situations, we're getting 4 quarterbacks in the first round.
Cam Ward is on the phone, by the way. This is they're showing this on the TV.
Oh, really?
Are
Yeah.
you watching?
I'm trying to narrate for Sam primarily.
No, because the other laptop, right? So it says you need to log into your TV provider. I log into my TV provider. It says you're automatically signed in. Then when it is supposed to auto refresh where I'm logged in, it goes back to the port where I need to sign in, and it says choose your TV provider.
Oh man,
this is literally the worst possible combination. Where I'm going to try NFL now.
Okay, Easton, how many seconds are left on the Titans clock for you?
On ESPN, I see 7:12, 7:11, 7:10.
All right, so you're 6 seconds ahead of me, so that's good to know. All right, so this is per Adam Schefter. The Giants offered this year's first, next year's first, and multiple other picks in exchange for the #1 pick. Pretty clear the Titans are in love with whoever they plan to take.
I would have taken that. I would have taken that. I would have taken that.
So this year's first was 3. Next year's first,
I would have taken
multiple other picks.
If that is a true offer, I think it's a little crazy not to take that.
I believe that was a late offer once the decision was already made. I don't think that was I'm pretty certain that wasn't the offer at the combine, for example. I think that was a last offer, final offer.
Hey, last ditch effort. Offer all the same. I would have taken that.
Well, we did hear this.
Where'd you see that on Twitter?
Yeah, Adam Schefter somebody just tweeted that. Yeah.
Yeah. And so also Monday, Adam Schefter said that the Giants also included this year's third in that. So you would get 3 this year's third, next year's first, and other picks.
Maybe other pick that I don't want to.
If it was this year's second, so if you got 3, 34 and 64 or 60, whatever the third is, would you have, and next year's first, you take that, right?
I take it as is. Like next year's one from the Giants is probably going to be a top 5 pick again. Like
probably. It doesn't matter, guys. We're talking about if you think you have a quarterback, it doesn't matter. If you think you have a quarterback, it doesn't matter. There's always a price, and the price when it's a quarterback that you think is the guy, when you think is a franchise-altering guy, needs to be like 3 first. It needs to be like Deshaun Watson level compensation, like break the league compensation. I know it doesn't. It's not about the spots. It's not about the money. It's about the quarterback. It's about what you're getting in a franchise-altering, what you believe to be a franchise-altering decision. I'm not saying that it's going to be. Oh. I'm saying that if you think that he is the guy, you have to take the guy. It's the one position where it doesn't. I mean, I don't disagree.
Doesn't matter. I don't disagree with that. I think obviously some of my my reason for why I would take it is because I'm more skeptical on Cam Ward. He's not been my favorite quarterback of this draft. That's just a lot, right? Like you're locking in Abdul Carter for yourself, plus another maybe 2 top 5 picks next year, plus a 3rd rounder this year, plus maybe additional picks next year.
It's a haul, man.
You want to talk about building your rebuild and catalyzing your rebuild, and boom, you're there. I mean, that's it right there.
All right, the pick is in for the Tennessee Titans. We had 7-13 early. From
I think I'm just. Wow. At what point, by the way, do I just not watch the draft and just
5 minutes ago? I'm tired of you talking about it. Yeah.
About now. Now you do have to make sure that you defer to Easton and I for staying on track here since you're blind. So Cam Ward is getting set. No,
I'm upset about this is.
I'm sure you are. I'm sure you are.
You should be upset. All right.
Before you stream, and then you can turn it on after the stream.
Go ahead.
Before you're fully upset, Cam Ward's about to be the number 1 overall pick. We'll go through some other things about this draft. We will stay on live for a bit because there might be some chaos.
There's about to be some chaos.
As Easton has texted us earlier saying that number 2 overall could be up for grabs.
It is.
Here.
It's going to change.
So
you think the Browns will trade number 2?
It's done. Yeah.
It just got tweeted by Schefter.
Wow. So what's the price?
Told you 30 minutes ago. Told you 30 minutes ago.
The Jags are coming up. The Jags
are going to have Travis Hunter. Yep.
The Browns are trading the number 2 pick. Jacksonville's giving up number 5, a 2nd rounder, number 36, a 4th rounder, and next year's 1st rounder to the Browns, who are giving up number 2, a 4th rounder this year, and a 6th rounder this year to the Jags.
Insane decision by the Browns. I tweeted it earlier when I was talking to y'all about it. They're going to live to regret this decision. It's eerily identical to when they did this for Julio Jones. The Browns were the ones that traded down, got a haul for Julio Jones. Falcons went up, and when you look at those two things side by side, it's very funny and stupid. So it's being announced right now by Roger Goodell, by the way, that Cam Ward is the Titans pick, which we all know. But should I share a little inside info here on who the 5th pick is going to be? Because I know who the 5th pick is going to be now.
Let me go ahead and announce this. So officially, Cam Ward is the number 1 overall draft pick. Somebody owes me money in the chat. Who owes me money in the chat? I need somebody to. We'll address that later on in the draft because we have things to get to. But Tennessee Titans do select Miami quarterback Cam Ward at number 1 overall. They reject the Giants' offer that Adam Schefter reported on the draft here of number 3 overall, next year's first round pick, and also multiple other picks. So we will go around the horn here momentarily as the Browns did move up to number 2 overall. Sam, do you have the compensation on the trade for the Jags?
Yeah, it's Browns are sending number 2, number 104, and number 200 to the Jaguars for number 5, number 36, number 126, and next year's first rounder.
So a lot of picks are coming up there. So we will let's talk about Cam Ward here for a moment, and we'll figure out what the Jags are going to do.
So hard to talk about Cam Ward right now.
Real quick.
So hard.
Who are the Browns taking? Real quick.
The Browns.
Who are the Browns taking at 5?
The Browns at 5. Any guesses?
Genty.
Hand-picked by Myles Garrett.
Michael Williams.
Michael.
Shedeur Sanders.
No. Mason Graham, defensive tackle.
Okay, so let's talk about Cam Ward. The Titans just got a new franchise quarterback. Sam, what's an attribute of Cam Ward's that you have learned by studying this draft over the last several months that makes him worthy of the number 1 overall draft pick?
Yeah, I mean, Cam Ward, it really comes down to, I guess, the physical tool that stands out the most to me is the improvisation, right? It's the ability to play off schedule, different arm slots, creating outside of the pocket. I think that is the one thing that Cam Ward does better than everybody else in this draft class. And, it's a thing that I've talked about throughout this pre-draft process, is that is a quality now that I think is very highly valued by teams. I think it is potentially overvalued by teams, but when I think how we define quarterback prospects in today's era, what does he do that makes him special? It's that ability to create, to, improvise and make a big explosive play, even when your offensive structure might not be everything that you want it to be. It gives a lot of flexibility to coaches. It gives them a longer leash, gives them ability to, I mean, Brian Callahan talked about it in the press conference just the other day about the idea of sometimes you've got a guy where the coach is on the sideline saying, throw it away, throw it away, throw it away, throw it away. And he creates a 70-yard gain, right? And Cam Ward can do that. This is what we see Patrick Mahomes do, what we see Josh Allen do, what we see Lamar Jackson do. This is the trend now in the NFL. This is what every team is chasing, is a guy who has this ability. And this is what Cam Ward does very well. So the Titans are hoping to lean into that and refine it a little bit and hoping that it blossoms instead of turns into just a, we hear stories of guys who have this ability and don't work out, and then guys who become the stars of the league. So that I think, though, is the number one thing when you look at Ward compared to the rest of this QB class. He's different in that regard.
Easton, what's an attribute of Ward different than that one that makes him worth the number 1 overall pick in this draft?
Well, an attribute of me right now is very happy because I just got a notification reminding me of the bet I placed on Cam Ward to be the first overall pick months ago. That is the single largest bet I've ever placed by like tenfold. So that's nice. Nice little payday there. I go back to the number 1 takeaway we had from my interview with Brian Callahan in January, them looking for a guy who has the nervous system. And it's kind of adjacent to what Sam was saying, obviously, but I think in my reporting of when this decision was made along the timeline of the past couple of months, it really was them finding out who the guy was as a person, as a leader, as a magnetic personality that dominates a room and can inspire a group of men and can, demonstrates that he is a natural. It sounds like a silly thing, but it really does matter to these coaches, according to them, talking to them. A guy that can talk ball naturally and scheme comes to him naturally, and it seems to be kind of a second language, I guess is the best way of putting it. Some guys it's natural for, some guys it's not. And with Cam Ward, that's the kind of thing that they identified when they got him in on the board in Indianapolis. And then again, here in Nashville a week later for his 30 visit, they identified a guy that they think has that rare trait. And you kind of see it on tape too. He seems to play football with a resting heart rate of 65 beats per minute. And you like in that Syracuse game, for example, at the end, when tensions are as high as possible and their college football playoff lives are on the line, he is playing in a way that does, not to be too hyperbolic, but does kind of resemble what you see with the Jaden Daniels, for example. Somebody that seems to rise to the occasion when the stakes are the highest instead of sink. And for better or for worse, that's one of, if not the biggest thing that last year's quarterbacking duo did the opposite of, did not rise to the occasion, and it drove them insane. And so they think that they have a guy that is the polar opposite of that now.
One thing that, this isn't an attribute that made him the number 1 overall pick, but it's something that I think is a part of Cam Ward's DNA. And that is the fact that he has had to earn everything that he's gotten. And he has continued to be overlooked. And honestly, what's happening right now on his draft night of being the number 1 overall pick is falling right into line of that. He is being completely overlooked because as soon as Cam Ward's the number 1 overall pick, of course, the Browns trade back with the Jags for number 2. Travis Hunter sitting there in his bright pink jacket, looking all great. The Heisman Trophy winner is about to steal all the attention. And the analysts don't spend any time talking about the number 1 overall pick because they're shifting to the new shiny thing that just happened. Cam Ward has never been able to have that moment. It keeps getting taken from him because of whatever reason. And he's grinded his way. He's earned everything. He's overlooked, and he's let that feed him. And I think, honestly, I could see Cam Ward's personality using tonight's experience of not being the main talking point, not having his 10 minutes on the clock to be discussed as the top overall pick in the 2025 NFL draft to the Tennessee Titans, to drive him even further because, he hasn't forgotten the 0-star recruit, the no big school offers, and transferring up twice to really earn this opportunity. So I think Cam Ward's DNA is going to continue to grow with that motivation.
As you say that, Jordan Schultz is saying now the trades are just starting. He tweeted about a minute ago. So the possibility the Giants are coming out of 3 as well, which is another, like, we've heard that too. Like, this was yesterday, 2 days ago that you started to hear, oh, hey, by the way, now both the Browns and the Giants are like
the next 3 picks could move. The next 3 picks could move. The Browns could double trade down, by the way.
It's funny, like the joke for the Titans draft is every time the Titans on the clock, the broadcast goes to commercial. They have the number 1 pick. You can't do that. So what happens? Number 2 and number 3 are going to get traded, and no attention
totally
gets paid
overshadow
to the
it.
Titans.
Yeah.
The same thing has happened.
What's interesting, that's an interesting discussion, not to, again, take away from Cam Ward and talk about other stuff, but that would be interesting from the Browns' perspective because, like, you trade it, you could double trade down, but you might miss on the guy that you are wanting there. Like the guy that you're,
but at this point you went to 5, right? Like we've talked about how this class, once you get past the top 3 prospects, teams seem to think the next 5, 10, 15 guys are all roughly the same. If I was the Browns, they may see this as their escape hatch out of the destitution they've found themselves in because of the horrible Deshaun Watson situation. Hey, let's just reload our draft capital all in one fell swoop here. Let's stock up the next 2-3 seasons and we can rebuild our team from scratch despite our books being just cooked by this contract that's still killing us.
Yeah, it's the same way that the Texans were able to get out of Deshaun Watson and rebuild as fast as they could because the Browns took the contract. Now the Browns maybe are trying to do that the same type of way. So we'll see. The Jags pick is coming up, and it looks like it's going to be Travis Hunter, wide receiver, defensive back from Colorado.
I'm hearing that they're going to play him as a DB primarily, by the way. I'm working to confirm that.
There's no way.
Primarily, that's what they're saying. Now, again, there's a long summer for things to change, but
so
either
when
way,
his name flashes up on the screen, it says cornerback / wide receiver. Cornerback listed first.
We'll see. I'm sure that I'm sure the Jags will probably dance around what they're going to do with them until we get to August. So it's probably going to be a long conversation. By the way, I just Skip Bayless throwing a fastball on Twitter right now, all caps. Tennessee just made a monumental mistake not taking Shadur Sanders, which I say mostly just to
some
love.
Well, Easton, let me toss it to you because you've done a ton of reporting on this the last several months. Because there was a month or a week in time where we were like, well, let's unload all the Shadur Sanders content and conversation we could possibly have back in the late December, early January timeframe. But Easton, what did Cam Ward do to separate himself to become the easy shoe-in decision for the Titans at number 1 instead of taking that Giants trade back? Instead of looking at Shadur Sanders, the other quarterback, instead of Travis Hunter, or Abdul Carter, the generational type talent, how did Cam Ward make this decision fairly easy for the Titans front office and coaching staff over these months?
Yeah, that's kind of a tricky answer. There are a couple of things, and I will say just off the top, I want to state for the record, the Jaguars obviously won this trade, and this is very bad for the rest of the AFC South. It's also a national travesty that Travis Hunter has to go play.
Can you say why? Can you say why?
Why what?
I mean, why did the Jaguars win this trade?
Oh, just because I think he's like an all-time generational player. So I think he's a player that's worth whatever you pay for him. But that's my opinion of the player. So like, we'll see. That's just, my opinion. Not,
Sure. I mean, Mason Graham is a really, really good defensive tackle, and you got a great defensive player and stole a first-round pick out of it. If you're the Browns, that's going to be awesome.
And for literally any other player in this class, I would feel way better about it for the Browns. I just am that big of a Hunter fan. And the Browns to me need to hit on their first round this year, hit on the one next year. I mean, they need to hit on all these picks they just got. And the last time they did this in the Julio trade, they got like 5 premium picks in return, and they hit on none of them. So I don't know.
That was years ago.
I have no faith in this team.
Different ownership from that point. But
worse now, probably. I don't know. The Haslam's blow. So anyways, the question about what Cam Ward did to differentiate himself. I do think that the top line differentiator is the upside. I think that teams today, fans fall into this more than the teams do. Well, you hear sometimes like, well, why even take a guy if you're not confident he has the ability to be a top 5 player, top 5 quarterback in the entire league? Why take a guy that you think might can be the 12th best, And I don't think teams buy into that all the way, but there is an element of quarterback tiltedness, I think, across the league, where teams are looking for the biggest, the fastest, the strongest, the X factor. And they're more interested in that ceiling than they are in the floor. And I think that it is fair to say that Cam Ward, probably from both a physical standpoint, arm strength standpoint, creation standpoint, has a higher ceiling than Shedeur Sanders. Now, a big part of the reason why I did, and still do, by the way, believe in Shedeur Sanders, and I'm excited to see, I frankly am privately kind of happy that he's going to go to a team later in the draft, because I think he'll probably fall into a better situation. And I think that he has the goods to be able to be a high floor, potentially high-ish ceiling quarterback if it all works out for him, because of his accuracy, which I think is a superpower. The other thing I'll mention, to not be too long-winded here, is we entered this process, Shrine Bowl, Senior Bowl, Combine, with these guys, the narrative was they're on the same footing a little bit. And it wasn't just, there was some element of the media kind of catching up to what the teams thought of these guys throughout that. But there was also some movement, my understanding is, in what the teams felt about these guys when they met both of them. This is not, I don't think this is telling tales out of school. You have heard some things from insiders, especially this week, about how, a number of teams that met with Shedeur Sanders were kind of turned off at first, especially early in the process. And there was, I think, a process of humbling for both Shedeur and Dion and that whole camp. When they came in, you heard Dion going on, TV early on saying, well, I'm going to handpick which places my son can go to. And that quickly changed once the market revealed itself to not actually be all that large. And I think that there was an element of confidence that wasn't backed up by the tape that teams were kind of turned off by. And there's a reason why, a team like the Giants, all of a sudden, it seems like they're super disinterested. The Saints are super disinterested, and we're not sure where he's going to go. So I do think that the meetings were a big element for these two in terms of differentiating who was the clear quarterback one.
Sam, what do you think on that?
No, that's exactly what I was going to say is, from everything that I've heard, multiple people have told me that the differentiating factor for teams between Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders over the pre-draft process was the meeting rooms. And Cam Ward blew Shedeur out of the water in meetings, straight up. Like that's what happened. That there was a lot of teams that felt like Cam was their QB2, QB3 before meetings, and he sort of separated himself over the few months that led up to the draft and really solidified a lot of the opinions about him to teams in the NFL. So I think that is why, this is sort of, as time has gone on, has been more of a shoo-in for the Titans. It's been more of a no-brainer for the Titans. It's why we've all kind of known that this was coming for over a month now. But when this draft first started, when the draft process first started, it could have gone any way. When we sat here at the NFL Combine, we didn't know if it was going to be Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter or Shedeur Sanders or Cam Ward first overall. And it's really in the months and days that followed that where Ward separated himself from the pack.
So Cam Ward, the number 1 overall pick. Travis Hunter, the number 2 overall pick after the Jags move up with the Browns to number 2 overall and get a slew of picks. The Browns drop down to number 5, and the Giants did stick and pick at 3. And they take Penn State edge rusher Abdul Carter. So at least that stayed the same. So far, the
Giants' defensive front is outrageous. The rest of the team might suck, but their defensive front is so sexy now.
Carter's going to be an interesting guy to watch. And, I don't want to be this guy, but, he's going to be the guy that Titans fans are looking over their shoulder at, certainly, right?
Well, I mean, I think both of these guys, now that one of them's literally in the division,
Well,
I think that the two blue chip guys we've talked about all offseason.
One of them specifically, right? Like I think, right, and this always exists, right? It always exists when you're picking first overall and you're making a decision of this magnitude. But the idea of trading out of the number 1 overall pick for Abdul Carter plus a first round pick plus, that is going to be some like first rounder, second rounder, third rounder this year, next year's first rounder, and maybe more. Mm-hmm. That is something that we are not going to forget soon. And so if Abdul Carter is this 15 sack a year, like top tier edge rusher, this is a guy that I think Titans fans are going to look over their shoulder at. And you are right off the top, Easton. If Cam Ward is a dude, it won't matter, right? Abdul Carter can be a dude, and Abdul Carter can win Defensive Player of the Year, and I don't give a damn if you've got a top 10 quarterback perennially. Mm-hmm. Like, that's just positional value. But I do think that this is going to be an interesting thing to watch play out over the next, bit.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and have a question here, because we did hear something before the draft started about the Giants trade offer to the Titans, that the Titans did decline. And so the Giants wanted Cam Ward, and they would have had the Titans drop back to 3. Would the third pick have been Abdul Carter by the Titans? But first, let me tell you guys about one of our great sponsors here on our draft live show, Holiday World and Splash and Safari, celebrating 25 years of free unlimited soft drinks. As you always hear, free sunscreen, free parking, free soft drinks at Holiday World, just 2.5 hours north of Nashville. You get your tickets today for the summer's adventures at holidayworld.com. Use promo code ATOZ to get a bonus $5 off your tickets. Opening day is May 10th. And you can book your quick trip up north to a great theme park, water park, roller coasters galore for great family fun. They've got coasters for everybody in the family, from your grandparents to the parents to the kids. So you can book your 2 or 3 day visit to Holiday World and Splash and Safari this summer. And they have a new resort, Santa's Cottages, just a couple miles away. Free soft drinks, free parking, and free sunscreen at Holiday World and Splash and Safari. Once again, promo code ATOZ for $5 bonus off your tickets at holidayworld.com. So, Easton, is it as easy as, yes, the Titans would have just taken Abdul Carter at 3 if they made the trade back with the Giants?
Yeah, I think if the board felt the same way and Abdul Carter was Travis Hunter was gone, I think, we may find out here in the coming days. The indications early and throughout this draft process to me, and it's why, by the way, on the tracker that I put out earlier today, where we've got the Titans edge and wide receiver guys ranked, the expert panel I put together, we had Abdul Carter ranked slightly above Travis Hunter, because we think they may have been one of the teams that valued him higher, which to me is crazy, but fine, doesn't matter anymore. I think that Carter would have been the easy pick for them, especially with Hunter off the board.
Sam, you feel the same way?
Yeah, I mean, I think Travis Hunter to the Browns has been sort of the play, right? Like that has sort of been the rumor for a long time now. And if we are to believe what Brian Callahan said at the NFL Combine, what are you laughing at over there?
Are you sure you heard the question?
If I'm agreeing with you that the pick was going to be Abdul Carter.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Maybe you're taking a roundabout way of getting there.
Well,
I
think
okay. My bad.
Travis
I did not mean to disrail you.
Travis Hunter to the Browns has always sort of been a thing, right? If you're trading back to 3, he wasn't going to be there. And if we are to believe what Brian Callahan said at the Combine, I think the Titans viewed Travis Hunter as a cornerback first. That was sort of their understanding of it. And so as a team that was valuing him as a corner that would play some wide receiver, I think the premium that a good edge rusher would give you as Abdul Carter does, I think would have separated him. I think if you take Cam Ward off the board, gun to head for the Titans, you have to go Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter. I think they would have gone Carter.
Okay. All right. So we're waiting on this 4th overall pick. Did we just get the first commercial break here of the draft?
I believe so.
Yeah, which is pretty impressive. 35 consecutive minutes here. The Patriots are on the clock. Mike Vrabel, no longer the Titans head coach, but his pick still broken by a commercial break by the broadcast. So that's kind of funny. So what do we think about the next group of picks? So the Jags are at 5. The Browns are at 5. You already think that's Mason Graham, the D tackle out of Michigan.
I do. Although the Browns are apparently still entertaining. Just kidding. Never mind. literally just saw the thing. No longer entertaining. It's going to be amazing, Graham. Again, I was told handpicked. This is behind the scenes information. I've not seen this said publicly, but I was told privately this was a handpicked decision by Myles Garrett to be a runner with him along the defensive line, which, speaking of scary defensive lines, that's one now. So I think that 4 we're about to find out, but I've not actually seen that one yet. I'm sure it's probably already been tipped. I'm assuming it's Will Campbell. And then with Mason Graham at 5, after that, I think we enter the Wild West, fellas. I think that strongly entering Ashton Genty territory. I think the rest of the tackles, Armand Membu and Kelvin Banks, are going to be off the board in short order. I think that a couple of the other stud defensive linemen at edge and defensive tackle are going to be coming off the board. And the question, I guess, quickly becomes, when does the first receiver come off the board? When does the first tight end come off the board? Is that where the Jets go at 7?
Is it crazy to think the first receiver could be at 12? Like, we might not see Tet McMillan come off the board until Dallas.
Oh, Sam, I'm betting on it. I would be surprised if we see the first receiver before 12. I think 12 is when we start, and it may not even be 12. I mean, Dallas could. I don't think it's for sure going to be a receiver for Dallas, although I would guess it probably is.
I think one of the biggest questions is going to be answered pretty soon here. One of the biggest mysteries of the draft is the Raiders to me. So much smoke on Ashton Genty, and yet I don't think it's going to be Ashton Genty. I think they're going to go offensive line. I wrote for A to Z Sports earlier this week. Ashton Genty's the smoke screen. The Raiders are going tackle. And, John Spytek was quoted as being all pro running back who said, well, look at what Saquon Barkley did for the Eagles. Saquon Barkley also didn't do that for the Giants for 6 years because he didn't have an offensive line in front of him. And that Raiders offensive line is okay at best if you're being generous. They're young, they're inexperienced, they don't have any premium players that they've really invested in. They made one move this offseason to go and get an offensive lineman in Alex Kappa, and before that they were the 22nd best run block win rate offensive line in the NFL. That's not an ideal situation for Genty to go in, and I think Spytek's a smart dude. I think he's a good hire at GM for them, and he knows how to build a team. I think Armand Membu maybe will be the pick there for them. I could see Banks going to the Raiders as well.
Sure. Can I say something real
Will
quick?
Campbell going forth to the Patriots is official.
Okay.
Offensive lineman, they view him as a tackle with some of the shortest arms. And
do they? Vrabel loves taking.
That's what I wanted to talk about. That's what I wanted to talk about.
I was listening to podcasts and draft content this afternoon. They view him as a tackle.
No, I know they do. I'm questioning the process here because, again, we saw Vrabel do this.
Time out. Will Campbell, 1,000% wearing the pinstripe suit to make his arms look longer. 1,000% is the case.
It's a good move. On his part. It's a good move.
It's a savvy veteran move by a man that
did not work.
A 42-year-old inside of a 22-year-old's body.
I think he's going to be real. For the record, I think he's going to be a really good tackle. I think he can play left tackle. I think he's going to be a really good left tackle.
I think he's going to be a really good NFL player. I was team let Skoronski play tackle, and that light has been long extinguished in my body, not just for him, but for all short-armed linemen forever and always. And I am going to be the hater on this one. I think that he will be a very good player. I don't think he'll ultimately end up staying at tackle. And if he does, it makes me go back to the Skoronski situation because you're sitting here on your TVs listening to them talk about how who cares about his arm length? He's an athletic outside player with powerful hands, good anchor, strong base, and you don't ever see him on the ground the way that you do short arm guys in college that concern you about their ability to play tackle. All of these things we were able to and did for a while say about Peter Skoronski when he was coming out. Was also the best tackle in all of college football in his final year of college. Also was an athletic player who was not on the ground regularly on tape and didn't show signs of a whole lot of struggles in terms of his length at the college level. And when Vrabel, the same guy, picked him 11th overall 3 years ago, they immediately, without hesitation, without consideration, maybe we play him a tackle. No, they said he's a guard forever and always, and they never gave him a chance.
Campbell does have longer arms than Skoronski, though.
Slightly. Shorter wingspan.
It's about half an inch longer.
And the shortest wingspan of any tackle in the history of the NFL dating back to 2006.
He's also narrow.
The shortest.
It's narrow just hard
short arms.
And I guess, this is also nitty gritty game of inches. We all understand that. It is so hard to conceptualize to me that Will Campbell can be so damn good in college and he's got 32 and 5/8 inch arms. And if you added 2/8 or 3/8 of an inch to his arms, he would go second overall and be like a surefire thing. 3/8 of an inch on his like reach. You're telling me that's the difference between
it is funny.
You're not. I'm not saying it's dumb because there is something there.
Clearly,
something there. It's just I will never be able to wrap my brain around it. I will always look and hold out my arm and be like, you're telling me 3/8 of an inch is the difference between me being like excellent and not having it? Like that's
I think it's because it is that small of a air margin, because that could be the difference of getting your guy off of your chest or having him inside, and then you're screwed. If you can't control your linemen in front of you, and those guys are big and long and strong too, then you're kind of toast. So it does make sense of why that matters. There's 64 starting tackles in the NFL left and right, and only 3 of them last year had under the 33-inch arms. And now Will Campbell is going to be 4.
In case you were worried about having like the first overall pick and like, worried that we weren't going to get coach speak like BS answers, by the way, the report from Green Bay is that Brian Callahan was asked if Cam Ward would be the week 1 starter at quarterback over Check's notes. Still can't remember his name. What is
Brandon
this?
Brandon Allen.
Dork, dude.
You're about to meet this guy in person. I'm telling him you called him a dork.
No, I'm not.
I'm telling him.
Disrespect to Brandon.
This guy hates you, Brandon.
I just quite literally can never remember his name. We'll see.
Can you remember the other quarterback in the room, by the way?
We'll see. We don't need to worry about that until September.
Yeah.
So no, we are not over the BS answers because.
Yeah, Cam Ward's going to start. Like there's no way that he.
Brandon Allen,
Tim Boyle,
not a quarterback.
By the way, Mike Borgonzi just said that the Titans made up their mind on Cam Ward 3 weeks before the draft. My article titled "The Plan is Cam" ran 21 days ago.
Nice, dude.
Got it. Bang, as they say.
Count it right there. Count that. Now, this is a question that Sam and I are very opposite on. And I'm curious to see the chat, and I'm curious to hear Easton's thought.
Oh.
What jersey number should Cam Ward wear?
Oh, God. Don't.
No, we have to do this. We have to do this because number 1 is retired.
Yeah.
Number 7 has been not good.
Austin wants him to wear 22.
Yeah. So number 1 is retired. 7 is available. 17 is available. That would be combined his college and high school numbers. 11 is Van Jefferson, but Van Jefferson can probably move off of that. You've also got 4 is available as well. So we'll get to your opinions on this, and I really want to hear what Easton thinks about all of it. But shout out to our friends at Bart Durham Injury Law. A crash can change your life forever, and Bart Durham is there to make sure that they can help you. Just a click away at bartdurham.com. Bart Durham Injury Law can help you just a phone call away, 615-242-9000. You deserve to be paid for what you go through. If that's a big truck wreck, that is Bart Durham Injury Law's fight for justice. So call them. Attorneys are available and ready to meet with you whenever is most convenient, including virtually or at their Capitol View offices in Nashville. They're local, been working in this business and market for 50 plus years, with Bart Durham passing last year. His son, Blair Durham, a great Nashvilleian and Marine vet, is running the show. So give them a call, 615-242-9000 for Bart Durham Injury Law at bartdurham.com. Jersey number for Cam Ward. What is it?
Well, I love that you started this by your tease was, I really want to hear what Easton has to say about this. A guy that we know on this show is notorious for not paying attention to anybody's jersey number. Mm-hmm. I do have an opinion on this.
That's good.
But it's an opinion that I care about on a scale of 1 to 10 at a 1. So like whatever happens, whether he wears 1 or 10 or adds a third digit to his jersey, I'm going to care this much. But my opinion is that he shouldn't wear 1. I wouldn't want to wear 1 if I was Cam. I would want my own thing. Like I would, because if you're awesome in the 1, then cool. Like the pressure's off, but you're forever known as the best,
the guy
or maybe
stole number 1 from Warren Moon.
well, not even you're forever known as one of the 2 best number 1s in Tennessee Titans Oilers franchise history.
Also true.
If you take your own number, then you have the potential to have a career that leads to getting your own number retired. And then obviously we know that if you take the 1 and you get Warren Moon's blessing to unretire his number, which was only retired less than, was it 06? Yeah, less than 20 years ago. And you suck, which obviously he's not planning on sucking, but sometimes things don't go to plan. Then it's super awkward. Like, oh, we unretired the jersey for a guy that blows and is out of the league in 3 years.
And then what, you like have to go through the process of retiring it?
Right. So it's just, what's the point? I mean, if he wants it that bad, fine. I won't really care if he wears 1. But if I were advising him on it, I'd say, just get your own number, man. Just get a different. And also, I think he was wearing number 7 at Incarnate Word. Like, it wasn't too long ago he was wearing a different number.
Which is available.
Right. So, like, it's not like he's been like, well, since I was in 3rd grade, I was wearing. No, since 4 years ago, bro.
Austin thinks not only should he wear number 1, Austin believes the Titans decommissioned Oilers uniforms and will not wear them again, specifically because they don't want Cam to wear number 1.
No, not specifically. Right, not just for that one reason. I think there's many reasons why they shelved the Oilers throwbacks. One is because they've learned that the Oilers throwbacks probably sell better than their actual brand, and it's probably not a good idea to do that with a new quarterback. But also, the timing of it was March 27th is when they decided to put out the press release that they're not wearing the Oilers jerseys, which was right around the same time they decided on Cam Ward. Because Easton, I know you said that it was April 2nd, when you wrote that article that Cam is the plan. But let's remember, you wanted to write that a few days before, but April Fool's Day was coming up, and we wanted to make sure, and we had to make sure it was right and do it really well. Which
I was prepared to write it on like March 29th.
Exactly, which was like 2 days after they put the jerseys on the shelf. And so I think they're going to do it. I think Cam Ward is going to wear number 1 in a Titans uniform because they're not going to wear the Oilers uniforms for at least 2 years.
It feels very performative to me. Like, and this is the thing, Easton, I appreciate the fact that you're at a 1 level of care on this, because I think that's the right level to care.
Thank you.
Because but this is my thing, right? And this is dumb, but it's my thing. The fact that it doesn't matter is why it matters to me. Like, the fact that it is something so small and silly as a jersey number is why somebody like Cam Ward should, like, it's a character move that it doesn't matter. Just get your own number. Don't make it a thing. Don't make it all about you. Don't be Mr. Look at me all the time.
But
don't cause a problem. Just be normal. Don't be performative. Get your own number. Go be great. Shut up. Put your head down. Play football and be awesome. And nobody will care.
We'll update the next pick in a second. But I don't think Cam Ward's going to be out here like demanding number 1 be unretired. I think it's a part of a plan. Warren Moon's going to,
but if it's part of a plan, he knows it's part of the plan.
But I don't think it's like
it's like, hey man, don't do all that. We're good. I'll wear number 7.
But I also think it's not a bad idea to do that. The Titans need help branding as much as possible, and number 1 Ward jersey is going to sell.
What I said on the show this morning: if you need him to wear number 1 to help brand him, you got bigger problems.
Yeah, the Titans get big problems, dude.
This guy needs to be good enough to make the number 87 sexy as hell.
All right, anyways, Ashton Genty's a Bear. No, he's not. He's a Raider.
Ashton Genty is a Raider at 6th overall. Did Mason Graham actually go?
I didn't want him anyway.
5?
Mason Graham
went 5. Ashton Genty at 6. So I was wrong about John Spytek.
Me too,
stupid coach stupid GM didn't say any of that nice stuff about him just like 10 minutes ago. He took a running back in the top 10.
Coming from Tampa Bay, where they are very good at investing in offensive linemen high in the draft, and he's just like, but what if we take a running back?
And they've had a lot of success taking running backs in rounds 2, 3, 4, and 5. But
yeah, well, the Raiders had literally the worst running attack in like the last 10 years last year. So the one thing I'll say to put a button on at least my part of the jersey conversation is that the only thing I know for sure about this thing that we're going to have to talk about apparently going forward until it's decided. I hope they decide it like in 10 minutes so we can quit talking about it. The only thing I know for sure is that the biggest losers in all of this are the people that are going to care really significantly whatever happens. Like if it matters to you what happens, like I do care. If it really gets in your craw, whatever happens, no matter what, he wears 110 or 99.
I just don't like when people
you're a loser.
I care because people care. and they shouldn't care. So that makes me care.
That's my point.
But I think
Right, but that makes me care about it, right?
Jersey numbers matter. Like I think there is something to it. There is an aesthetic aspect to certain jersey numbers for a quarterback. We all know that.
It matters on a 1 out of 10. It matters. It matters as little as you can possibly matter.
To your credit, like I bet you 75% of NFL fans do not know what number Patrick Mahomes is.
What? Really? I don't know anyone's number. Even I know what Patrick Mahomes wears.
I don't know.
I feel like maybe not like NFL fans who like watch every Sunday type of thing, but like my buddies who play fantasy football probably don't know like what number Patrick Mahomes is.
Yes, they do.
You're picking the wrong player. You need to say like Dak Prescott or something.
Yeah,
but he's the Cowboy. So many people.
I mean, I don't.
Brock Purdy.
I do not know. This is telling on myself. I do not know. I think it's 9. I do not know with full guarantee what number Lamar Jackson is.
8. Yes, you do.
Yeah, didn't know that. I thought
Austin, Sam's like me. We're learning that Sam is like me.
No, there's no way.
You're the weirdo. We're the normal ones.
There's no way.
I know Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes.
This is incredible.
You have to like say them after you name the player.
Joe Burrow, 10.
Sam and I are the same, Austin. You're the weird one.
What number is Joe Burrow? I have no idea.
9.
No, I didn't know either.
Never would have gotten that.
Nope.
God, you guys are nuts.
I don't care.
I know what he looks like, and I know who he plays for. He's the guy under center wearing Bengals stripes.
Name another good quarterback, Austin. Jane Daniels, no clue. Not a clue.
No,
Jane Daniels wears.
Single digit.
2, right?
Two, maybe. 2 sounds right to me.
Yeah. You guys are nuts.
If you give me like a multiple choice test,
Jalen Hurts.
Decent. 1?
I would say that's my guess is 1.
Yeah.
Correct. Justin Herbert.
10. I know that one.
Jordan Love.
4. No, that's Brett Favre. 10. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, dude. Exactly. That's Brett. 10? Is it 10?
Yeah.
Jordan Love is? Okay.
Yes.
Jay Cutler wore 6. I know my Bears QBs.
I know Titans players because it's my job to know those.
Right.
Barely.
You're right. Barely. I have to refresh myself every spring.
I know everybody. Easton, who wore 58 last year for the Titans.
The Titans? Harold?
That's easy. Yeah.
Okay. I'll just make sure.
I know the Titans roster, but like league wide, I don't think people pay attention to.
Okay, but like ask me what Jaquan wore.
19.
Okay.
Kyle Phillips.
I had forgotten that by
Kyle
now.
Phillips, 18.
Not you. I'm talking to the guy that doesn't know numbers. You know what TK McClendon wore. So like I'm not worried about you. I think it was like 63. I don't know. That would be a good poll. Josh Wiley, what number is he?
You talking to me?
Nope. Still nope.
Okay. Josh Wiley, 8. I don't know. No, that was Will's number. That was Will's number.
That's tight end, dog.
Yeah. I 87. I don't know.
81.
Yeah. I have to refresh myself on their numbers every spring. I do.
I know the Titans. I know the Titans roster. And
in season, I know the Titans roster, and then I forget it. It goes out of my brain once the season's over.
But yeah, I clearly don't know what number.
So if you guys believe that Cam Ward should not wear the retired 1 jersey for Warren Moon, which is fine, I think it's going to happen. I'm not saying I would do it if I were the decision maker.
That wasn't the question, by the way. You didn't ask me to predict what's going to happen, because I think that's probably a different answer than when.
I think it's going to happen.
I think so too.
I said that on the show though today.
Okay, so we agree. We all think it's going to happen.
I think it will happen, but I don't think it should.
Agreed.
All right, what should he wear?
7.
No, 7's terrible. You can't put him in
7 what he wore
at Incarnate Word. He wore 7,
and in high school he wore 7,
and it's available. Like that to me is like that's the easy solution.
I endorse 7 because the number 7 looks like a person doing this thing, so it fits his brand.
That's like that. The logo, the Cam Ward logo,
can make with a 7.
Yeah. That logo is gonna
just
sell insane. Like I think you just came up with like
you put a little dot. You put a little dot for a head above this, like the stalk of the 7, and suddenly it's Cam Ward doing his thing. So
no, literally, you do a Cam Ward as a silhouette making a 7, and that's gonna be his logo that he puts on like his t-shirts and stuff.
I don't
Under
like
Armour.
I know. I'm gonna call Under Armour as soon as we're done here and present that idea to them.
Why Under Armour? Is he an Under Armour guy?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We talked about
it. You had us write an article on it.
I wrote an article on it.
He called me
Under Armour.
I said us. It was really Sam.
I think 7's bad, just like 10 is bad for the Titans. Don't wear 10. 7's jinx for Titans quarterbacks.
All
Don't
right,
wear
so
7.
Austin, if I told you 1 is off the table because Warren Moon puts his foot down, what should he wear?
4.
Why? That number is going to be retired next year for Stoney.
4 for Warren.
Come on.
That's my guy, dude.
We're moving forward with forward.
Billy Volek was 7.
Yes, he's the best quarterback to wear 7 for this franchise.
Which other 4s have there been in Titans? Some kickers have won 4,
Ryan
right?
Suckup.
Yeah, Suckup won 4. Yeah, okay.
I say
the
4.
Jets are on the pick is in for the Jets. Actually, I'm pretty curious about this one to see
right,
if they go tight end.
So we kind of mentioned that we don't know how long we're going to be live because this is a weird draft. The Titans pick number 1. We've been live for 55 minutes. We've just gotten through 6 picks. The 7th pick.
Good for the Jets.
The New York Football Jets.
Smart pick.
Yeah.
Offensive line, Membu, right tackle. So I guess back-to-back 7th overall picks in the NFL draft go to right tackles. J.C. Latham now right tackle. Membu right tackle. So we got the Panthers on the clock, and then the Saints on the clock, and Sam's Bears.
Panthers are probably going to go edge here.
Jalen
Walker, Michael Williams.
They like Jalen.
It looks like your Wi-Fi name or password has changed. To update
Uh-oh.
Somebody's Wi-Fi password change? Is it you?
Yeah, probably
The ALEXA in this room, which is I thought was disabled, just heard me apparently say its name. So it started yapping at me. Who do you want your Bears to take, Sam?
I'm flexible.
Okay.
No, really, 10 was an interesting spot. I would have been really happy with Ashton Genty at 10.
Sure.
I don't want them to take Hampton. I think the running back class is so deep. The Bears have 39 and 41, where I
agree with you.
Get a running back at 39 or 41.
You know what the play is? Draft.
Warren.
No. 39 and 41. Take Quinshaw Junkins and Travion Henderson. Just recreate the Ohio State backfield.
So I could get excited about Michael Williams. I think he's a good body fit for them. They need some edge help to help Montez Sweat out. So I would get on board with that. I could be sold on a tight end as well.
I think Tyler Warren's the pick. If he doesn't go 9 to the Saints,
we know I'm like Easton. We know I'm a massive Cole Kmet guy.
We know.
And I think I'd be really excited to see what Cole Kmet can do in a Ben Johnson offense.
Would you?
So I think if they go with Warren or Loveland, I think it's pretty clearly Ben Johnson having a pretty clear vision for how they're going to use 2 tight end sets all the time, essentially, which would be unique because it's not something he did a ton of in Detroit. So I can be sold either way. I can buy into a tight end. I can buy into Michael Williams if that's the pick. Maybe a trade down. I don't know. But everybody wants to trade down. You need somebody to trade up.
Oh, so why are we talking Bears? They suck. Says the show that covers the Tennessee Titans that were the number 1 overall pick. That were 9 picks worse than the Bears.
What's New Orleans do here? Are they taking a quarterback?
Well, did we get the Panthers pick yet?
It's tipped, but it's not announced yet, so we're not going to talk about it.
Okay. They went to commercial again.
Mm-hmm.
But what do we think? Do we think New Orleans is taking the quarterback or no?
No, I do think that.
Wow, that Panthers pick surprises me.
Me too. The power of Christ himself compels Mickey Loomis to do the most outrageous things on draft day, but I don't think that this will be one of those things. I think that they'll make a sober selection at 9. I would love to be wrong because
this is a spot for Jalen Walker, possibly. Michael Williams.
The Panthers just took Ted McMillan. Is that correct?
Well, now that you've said it, yes.
Well, I mean,
yes, they did.
It was not what we were saying out loud. It was what we were.
No, I know, but like the chat's all over it.
Okay, if the chat's all over it, then fine.
McMillan is going to go to Carolina. So
I need the side-by-side picture of Tet next to Bryce right now. Like I need air. I want to see those two stand next to each other. It's going to be very funny.
Yeah, I think at this point, there's no point to not tip the picks because like they're on commercial break. The chat's yelling it. And
chat is saying, screw it, tip the pick.
We're not trying to we're not on our, we're not on pins and needles waiting for the Panthers pick at 8. Like it's not like it matters necessarily.
So yeah, Saints here. I actually think that McMillan going here, I don't think the Saints are taking a quarterback. I think that this, had maybe Jalen Walker gone or Michael Williams gone, had one of the edge rushers, if they liked a lot, had one of those guys gone right there, maybe they did go QB. But I think with both of those edges on the board, I would be very surprised if it wasn't one of those two edge rushers here at 9.
Okay. Let's go ahead and do this while we're waiting on this. And McMillan is going to be the pick for the Panthers at 8. I want to know, through a Titans lens, what's one thing you're rooting for the rest of this first round? Because
is that for us or for the chat?
For everybody involved. I just threw it in the chat and you guys can look at it too. What's one thing you're really rooting for the rest of this first round? Because the Titans have the 3rd pick tomorrow in the 2nd round, 35 overall currently. And we all know we've had so many conversations about that 35th overall pick.
Got trade? What's happening?
Somebody just said Jackson Dart in the chat.
I'm looking
Somebody
through
in
my
the
tips.
chat said
Now,
Jackson Dart.
let's just be chill here for a second.
I saw Jackson Dart in all caps, and I was like, Saints, so no. Let's see. Do we have an update?
It's not been tipped yet. It's not been tipped.
Yeah,
All right.
I did. Yeah.
Well, anyways, what's before they pick here, because this could ruin my answer, Austin. My answer to what we're rooting for is you just hope Sam is dead wrong. You hope that, like, no quarterbacks hear their names for the rest of the night. Like, somebody's going to take Shedeur Sanders, if we're being honest, by the end of the – but, like, 2 quarterbacks, if we can get to the end of this first round with 2 quarterbacks, that's it. That's a huge win for the Titans, because you got to get through 33 and 34 in tomorrow night. You have to get through those 2 picks. And if 2 quarterbacks are there, either they're going to go 33 and 34, or one of them will still be there at 35, and you've got all of the ammunition you need to possibly trade down, which is obviously, we know, an attractive option for the Titans. So more quarterbacks on the board going into tomorrow, the better.
All right, that's what you're rooting for. I'll let Easton give his thoughts here in a second. I do want to thank our great sponsors, our A to Z Sports Draft Live tonight and tomorrow night. We'll be back at 6 p.m. tomorrow for round 2 and maybe 3 if the Titans trade out. Bart Durham Injury Law, Crash can change your life forever. Help us just a click away at bartdurham.com. Holiday World and Splash and Safari celebrating 25 years of free parking, free sunscreen, free soft drinks in 2025. Tickets at holidayworld.com. Use our promo code ATOZ to get an extra bonus $5 off your tickets. Easton, what's one thing you're rooting for through a Titans lens the rest of this first round to set up really well for tomorrow night?
By the way, I've been to Holiday World no fewer than 20 times in my life. I love that place.
Really?
Making me want to go back. Oh, yeah. Like twice a year for growing up. Loved going.
Good. Just 2.5 hours north of Nashville.
It is. Can't endorse it enough personally. In terms of what I'm rooting for personally, the Emeka Egbuka gas mask picture to drop any second would be ideal for me. But in terms of what Titans fans are generally rooting for, would be for probably, I would say, linemen on both sides of the ball to continue to line up the board here and push positions that are more important to the Titans. And when I say more important to the Titans, I'm talking quarterback, running back, tight end, receiver, edge. Push those guys down the board by getting as many offensive linemen and as many of these really, truly high-level interior defensive linemen to come off the board. I think that's what's ideal for them, because right now the Titans are already sitting pretty in their draft room, chilling, eating probably a delicious, incredible, very expensive spread of food that's in that draft room, and just waiting to see what kind of leverage is going to fall into their laps. It's all a leverage game right now. By the way, saw some national reporting earlier today and earlier this week about how the Titans are one of those teams to watch to trade back up into the first round. I'll put my reporter hat on for a moment and say that's not a thing that's going to happen. Don't worry about that.
That's not going to happen.
No,
we will not be here live again tomorrow or tonight. We will be back live here tomorrow, and we may be here a couple times tomorrow. That part might happen.
I just said
tonight's not going to happen.
Those are people that very clearly have not paid attention to the messaging from Mike Borgonzi, who has said, I want more picks. Yes, he likes top 100 picks, but he wants more picks. The only world that happens is if somebody's like, yeah, we'll give you a first for Jeff Simmons. And guess what? That's not going to happen. So,
yeah, I mean, should I go ahead and put my reporter hat back on and say that?
I know you took it off. Go ahead.
All right.
Yeah, I thought you had that on all the time.
I don't know. In real time, I'm asking you, should I say what you think I'm about to say? Or should
I
wait?
don't know what you're
I don't know what you're going to say.
Oh, well, okay, fine. Then
Saints pick is in.
Okay, well, we'll
And
find out in a second.
And
okay, the Titans are not, and actually never were, trading Jeffrey Simmons. So more on that.
So that's good. More on that tomorrow.
He's on the team. There you go. Kelvin Banks is a Saint.
Kelvin Banks, a Saint. That is the third offensive lineman.
We love that. We love that.
Yeah, this is expected though, right? These three in the top 10, I felt like was kind of a gimme.
I do think it brings up the question now because the drop off in this offensive tackle class is tremendous. And once you get past, I mean, we're looking now at Josh Simmons and we're looking at Donovan Jackson, who some see as a tackle, some don't, both of the Ohio State guys. And brother, that's it. So how high can those guys go now? They were often mocked in the 20s. I wouldn't be surprised if we see teams get tilted on coming up to get those guys right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think the real thing here too, you alluded to it real quick, Easton. I'm not even looking at tackle and defensive line. Like, can safeties go in the first round? Can you get a couple inside backers, right? Like, can you let's
get some cornerbacks off the board?
Let's get a lot of corners. Let's get all the linebackers. Let's get maybe let's get 3 safeties. Give me Stark. No, give me Emmett Wari, give me Stark, and give me Xavier Watts. All of them in the first round.
I like it.
Yeah,
sure. Why not?
No, I definitely think the more offensive linemen they go, the better.
That does really would be awesome right now.
That just for the record, to our knowledge, that gas mask picture of Emeka Egbuka does not exist. Just for the record, Easton's just making a joke.
You didn't get that one?
No, I'm just making sure. Just for
he's covering our butts legally
as one of the owners of the company. Yes, I'm covering.
I'm trying to tank this place.
Making sure that we have. But does Ted McMillan going 8 make you nervous a little bit about that? Like was that earlier than you, or did you expect one receiver to be gone by this point? Like
nervous about what? The Titans' chances of getting
early,
a receiver?
It's early for a receiver, but I think you are a little bit green if you do not expect wide receivers to be overdrafted on draft night. Like it is going to happen. We are going to get another receiver at like Matthew Golden's going to go 12 to Dallas. We're going to get get a handful of them in the first round.
Egbuka's going to be a top 20 player.
Easton,
They'll be 3 off the board by they'll be 3 off the board by 20. Yes.
I think Burden goes tonight. And I think that
we'll see,
that's crazy for some people who have his stock plummeting, but it takes one team that likes the profile enough for a high profile position. I think we could see Jalen Knoll go tonight. Like, I think there's going to be
good. Yeah, I think so.
The receiver, it happens every year, especially in the 20s. It's going to happen.
All right. So let's look at it, because if receiver is where we have our eyes on guys slipping, and McMillan just went 8 to Carolina. I think we all agree Dallas at 12 is the next easiest spot for another one to go. Chicago, I will get there in a second. Saints did take Banks. We know that, right?
Chicago's not taking a receiver.
Correct. So then 11 for San Fran. I think they're probably going D front. That could be one of the Georgia guys.
San Francisco can go a lot of ways. I could see him going a lot.
San Fran is going to take a defensive lineman of some kind.
That's what I thought, like a defensive front. Maybe I don't know if it's.
I think that they're the Walter Nolan spot personally, but that could be Michael as well.
I think Michael to them would be value they probably didn't expect to get.
Yeah, it's pretty gross, honestly.
And then so Golden is at 12, potentially to Dallas. What are the other wide receiver
Don't be surprised
spots?
if Dallas goes. I saw some Dallas O-line love, by the way. Tyler Booker out of Alabama, dark horse there, but just throwing that.
So those are the guys. So I'll pull up the list here. I did this list earlier today for A to Z Sports at atozsports.com while we were doing. It was a list of everything Titans fans should root for, and this was the group of players that you should hope to hear as many of these names as possible. Will Campbell, Armand Membu, heard both of those. Jonah Savaianaya, Donovan Jackson, Tyler Booker, Gray Zabel, Ariante Urseri, Josh Connerly Jr., Josh Simmons, Kelvin Banks, Mason Graham, Walter Nolan, Derek Harmon, Kenneth Grant, Darius Alexander.
So far 4.
So 4 of those guys have gone. I think if you get 12 or 13 of those guys, you're going to be loving where you're at tomorrow. We should get, Nolan will go tonight. Simmons should go tonight. Connerly should go tonight. Can we get Booker? Can we get Zabel? Can we get Donovan Jackson off the board? Those are the players that are next. for me.
Okay. Bears on the clock, Sam. What do you want?
Well, I know what I just got it tipped. And I'm kind of pumped about it.
Oh.
The Bears are taking Colston Loveland.
Yes.
Hello, 12 personnel.
12
Let's get
personnel.
big.
And I was gonna say this earlier when we were talking tight ends earlier. I think this is a better compliment to Cole Kmet than Tyler Warren is. I think Loveland's a better player.
Oh, well, their play styles. Warren would have been redundant, but also it's just good. I'm glad that the Bears finally have a good tight end.
Now, does this mean that Tyler Warren is going to the Colts at 14? And so now, if
he's there, yeah, brother,
you're talking about Travis Hunter and Tyler Warren in the division. That's not a great way the board fell for the Tennessee Titans.
Well, guess what? They've all got to deal with Cam Ward in the division now. So.
Ben Hall, is James Pierce a first rounder? I don't know who that is because that is not a person that's draftable.
I did that once, by the way, very early on.
Guys, it's freaking April 24th. Ben, you're a Vol fan. You should know how to spell James Pierce's last name. Come on. James Pierce is probably a first rounder.
That's not a thing to get fired up about.
It's annoying. I respect people's name spelling.
The Niners are taking Michael, that is a delicious.
That's a great get for them.
Delicious get for them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Michael's a really good pick at 11. That's a really good pick at 11.
Guys. Look at what SportsCenter did. I'm going to put it on my camera. SportsCenter tweeted out a Photoshop picture, the picture that I asked for of Bryce Young standing next to T-Mac.
Oh, no.
They made him so short. That is not even remotely accurate.
That's not okay. We needed to see the Jose Altuve, Aaron Judge comp.
Exactly.
Like that the Jose Altuve standing on second base while Aaron Judge is right. That's what we need.
All right. Well, the NFL
no real surprises 14th,
so far. They just announced
no real surprises.
I mean, the Jaguars kind of surprising.
I mean, the trade up, yeah, but I mean, like in terms of the picks, Mason Graham was mocked going number 5 to the Jags. So like,
they just flipped.
Outside of the team swapping, this was pretty what we expected so far. I feel like.
All right, a couple of super chats here before we head out of here for tonight. Ryan Field says, "I wonder if Cam gets." Okay. Big Ten Jeff says.
That was not what you. No, that was on you. You made that bad.
What happened?
That wasn't bad. You made it bad.
I wasn't even paying attention.
I know what he was trying to say. You made it bad.
I made it bad. What are you talking about?
We'll talk later. You made that bad. That was a fine comment.
No, it was not a fine comment.
Yes, it was.
Pull it back up. What's the comment?
I can't. It's gone.
Oh. Well.
Does the fan base turn on Cam Ward as quickly as they turned on Will Levis? Was what the comment was supposed to be. It was.
I see.
Which phrasing
emphasis on the wrong syllable.
Instead, I added words in there to make it better.
Oh.
All right.
Anyways,
well,
you got a super chat here.
Damn it! All right,
that was on you, Austin. That was on you.
I was reading the words in the order that they were typed, and it was a super chat.
This is almost as worse as your Brinker Borgonzi Callahan.
The BBC, as they call them.
The British Broadcasting Channel. All right. Big Ten Jeff jumped over to YouTube so he could spend $2 to say this to Easton. Deal with Cam Ward throwing to whom? LOL.
Bryce Oliver. Duh.
There you go.
Big Elk 70, Big Ten Jeff's YouTube account does not know about Bryce Oliver.
No, he does not. He does not. All right. Daniel says y'all got to stay on for the whole first round. We do not, because we all have work to do after this.
I'm excited to watch the draft. Maybe.
Sure.
I'm gonna try to pull it up on my laptop after I get done here. So.
All right. Well, that is it for us on night 1 of the NFL draft. If something crazy happens, we will be right back. So we're not going anywhere. We're going to be glued to this thing for the entire night, and then we'll be back to react to all of it. Shout out to Bart Durham Injury Law. BartDurham.com is a website. Check them out for any injury, any wreck that you have. Bart Durham Injury Law has you covered. In Holiday World and Splash and Safari celebrating 25 years this summer in 2025. Tickets at holidayworld.com. Use our promo code ATOZ to get $5 bonus off in your tickets. So we will figure out what we will do and talk about tomorrow morning because we'll find out how the remaining 22 picks go in this first round to find out who is on the board, how many quarterbacks go, what wide receivers are left, what trade leverage the Titans have at 35 overall. Cam Ward is the number 1 overall pick in the 2025 draft and did not get the time that he deserves on that one. And so we will see you guys tomorrow morning.
We'll have plenty of time talking about Cam Ward from now till September. So,
yep, just like we have from February to now. So, all right, guys, that's it. Make sure that you stay tuned to A2ZSports.com and our social media. I know Buck Rising is working on a report in a video from the Titans facility. We've got Jake Evans and Zach Bingham up in Green Bay getting content there at the draft. And then these two guys, Sam and Easton, will be writing all of their article coverage at A2ZSports.com. And we'll be back tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Central Time. Appreciate it as always, guys. And as you should do, make sure you hit that like button. Like the show. See you guys in the morning. Enjoy the rest of the first round of the NFL draft.